I am Phil Bohn, SVP of Sales and Revenue for Mediavine, which is a publisher and advertising technology company. We exclusively represent and provide technology for 10,000 websites, which we monetize programmatically, equates to about 35 billion monthly ad impressions. My friend Don here, I'll let you say hi.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Don McGuire. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Qualcomm. So it's nice to be here at Innovators again. Always a pleasure. I'm looking forward to hopefully informative chat.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to switch things up. I know we heard a lot about AI this morning, so we're going to switch and talk about some AI, but from a different perspective because
Change it up.
Yeah, because Don and Qualcomm are sort of building the engines for all of these different AI initiatives. So Don, can you give us kind of a quick update on like what Qualcomm is working on right now and how you fit into this?
Sure. Look, Qualcomm, the quick stats, about 50,000+ employees around the world, been in business for about 38 years, headquartered in lovely San Diego, California, which is a pleasure. We started more as a communications company in basically connecting things to the cloud, to the internet, and we're the reason why your phone is not just a music player anymore, or whatever, that you can actually do lots of things on it because they're always connected to one. But that's what we started, and that's really our core DNA. But since then, we've diversified and grown, and our technology roadmap has expanded. We have a ton of inventors and IP that we've developed over the years, and research that we've done to diversify into really this kind of full solutions provider around semiconductors or chips that go into a lot of the devices that you use every day throughout your lives, whether it's your smartphone, your PC, your smartwatch, your earbuds, your car, your tablet, et cetera, et cetera. And then on the enterprise side, a ton of industrial and IoT applications and products. So we're very diversified, a big company, and it's really been nice to be on the forefront of technology evolution and development for so many years. And like you said, we've been doing research on AI for 15 years. We've been deploying and commercializing AI technology for over 10. So it's an interesting topic for us to dive into as we talk about other things as well.
Give us some examples, like where are you powering on the AI front?
So our Snapdragon platforms have had AI as a part of them for about 10 years. I think there's over 3 billion devices in the world deployed today that have AI within them. And you may not know this, but AI has been working in the background on your devices for several years. It's been making your photos better. It's been making your music sound better. It's been doing things in the background that you may or may not have recognized, but the result has been a better experience. And so the AI phenomenon, or dare I say hype cycle, really is a product or a byproduct of generative AI. Generative AI, I think, is the press release, so to speak, for AI. But AI itself has been around for a long time. But again, it's been sort of in the background, and now it's been pushed and thrust into the forefront with the likes of ChatGPT, Midjourney, Firefly, and all those other tools that people are starting to adopt and use. So we really focus on that AI experience at the edge, which is how do you utilize AI on your devices throughout your life, or throughout your business and work or personal life, and then how does that connect into the area around you, whether it's your home or your business or your campus. And then the handoff really is then to the cloud. So our focus with our AI technologies and growth is to create a scalable environment for AI that will scale all the way from on-device, private, secure AI functions and tools all the way through to trillions of parameters and big supercomputing types of cloud-based AI applications.
So make it faster for us?
Faster, smarter, more secure, safer, more personalized, and hopefully in the next year or so, less prompted and reactive, and more anticipatory and suggestive. Because I think for AI to be truly useful, especially Gen AI, it's going to have to become suggestive, it's going to have to become anticipatory. It can't just be prompt in, answer out, prompt in, answer out. I think that gets boring, number one. But number two, if it's really going to be part of your life and you're going to allow it to learn from you, it needs to be able then to help you proactively. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Where can we see this today? What would we be?
Oh wow. Like I said, using the smartphone as an example with regards to photography or audio quality or some of the functions that you use your phone for today, it's been running in the background. But with regards to Gen AI specifically, I think what we're starting to see is applications like chat applications and or image development like Stable Diffusion can now run on a smartphone, and this next generation of smartphones coming out this year in less than a second. So talking about making things faster, I mean, if you query in Stable Diffusion an image with 50 different parameters, it will produce that image in less than a second, which is pretty phenomenal.
That's great. Is there anything about auto that you were talking about a little bit? Like, I think it'd be interesting to share some things you guys are working on there. Which I was not, because there's such a car guy. Yeah, I'm not a car guy. Mediavine is 100% remote. I drive like 3,000 miles a year. I switch my cars to die. So what's going in my next vehicle?
Well, so cars are cool, and they're evolving. I think cars are cool. And they're, the evolution of the automobile is one of the most transformative storylines, I think, over the last 5 years. The automotive industry has been one of the most transformed industries, I think, over the last 5 years. And, this mentality shift, and it's being driven in different places. I think China, if you have not been to China and you have not seen what's going on with the auto industry in China, it is absolutely astounding, phenomenal, amazing. And if I were some of the bigger multinational car brands, I'd be a little worried what's going on there, because the pace of innovation is so fast. But they started embracing this idea that the car is now a new living space, right? It's not just get in, drive, get out, park, get back in, drive, get out, park. If you're stuck in traffic, if you're waiting to pick up your child from school, if you've got downtime and you're in your vehicle, there are things you can do, and your car can help you do those things now. Through the deployment of technology in this era of what everyone's calling the software-defined vehicle, technology is now driving the development of the car. It used to be that automakers started with a mechanical chassis, and then they built the car out from that. Now, what they're doing is starting with a digital chassis. What technology do we need to deploy in the vehicle and then build the car up from that? And our Snapdragon digital chassis platforms are enabling automakers to do that, customize, personalize to their brands, to their styles, to their car brands ethos, whether it's Cadillac or BMW or Mercedes or Ford or Jeep or whoever it might be, for their audience, for their customers, and keep that brand identity and have a renewed and newer relationship with the driver, and let the driver have a new relationship with the car, and then the car having a relationship with the world around it, which is super interesting. So that's the macro picture, but there's some crazy things going on with in-car experiences. I'm sure you've seen some YouTube videos or whatever. There's champagne bottles popping out of center consoles with chilled glasses. There's 18-inch screen from the new BMW i7 in the back seats that recline. There's some crazy stuff going on. It could be your office, it could be your movie theater, it could be your gaming place that you game, and all those things are really being powered by Snapdragon. And in the average sort of Land Rover Defender, there are 6 Snapdragon chips at least. So our little Dragon's powering a lot of those experiences. I think there's 350 million vehicles on the road today with our Snapdragon digital chassis platforms inside them. And we launched 75 models just in 2023 across all the major auto brands.
Congrats. Obviously, you're a CMO. You've got some other CMOs in the room. How are you and maybe some of these others using AI today? Give us some details on that front.
Sure. So enough of the PSA. Qualcomm and Snapdragon. As a CMO, I have a unique opportunity that we're a company that's commercialized technology and done the research for a number of years, but also we're an enterprise. And I'm a CMO as a marketing organization, and we need to continue to face the challenges and opportunities that all of you in the audience face with regards to reaching audience and delivering for the business. And AI is going to, I believe, truly believe that AI is going to help us along that journey if it's deployed right and if it's used right. We have adopted AI tools maybe more quickly than others from kind of feedback that I've gotten from some of these speakerships that I've done. We deployed an AI steering committee very early that was cross-functional. We took a hive approach to adopting AI tools. So legal, a lot of lawyers, legal, IT, marketing, everybody with a seat at the table, bringing tools through, analyzing them for things like, how are they trained? Right? How safe? Can they be off-network, on-network? Right? Are they going to be deployable one-on-one, one-to-many, many-to-many? All those types of questions get answered. We tick every box for everybody's concerns. You know, IT has cybersecurity concerns. Legal has obviously training and other types of IP concerns. Marketing has usability concerns and ownability concerns. So those things are all addressed, and then if they pop out on the other side, they check all the boxes, we deploy the tool. So we deployed, got several across the business. We deployed tools that help us with coding, code development, code training. We've 2 different chatbots, one through Microsoft Teams Copilot, the other is an internal chatbot called Chatwise. That's just multifunctional and can be used across the business. Our legal department has deployed an AI tool for contract development and templatization. And then from a market perspective, we are an early adopter of Firefly. I feel like I should get a discount from Adobe because I've talked about Adobe in every speakers I've done, but I am an Adobe shop. I've just gone through a massive transformation of my MarTech stack and my digital customer journey with the help of Adobe and Deloitte, and I've taken the entire suite of Adobe products from Workfront all the way through to Experience Cloud. And Firefly is now being strung throughout the entire suite. So we're an early adopter of Firefly. We're talking with Adobe about Gen Studio, which you haven't heard about Gen Studio. I think it's a phenomenal creative asset that can be deployed within marketing organizations to help accelerate content development, to help reach audiences faster in this 12-second news cycle and attention spans that we're in these days. We're always struggling to keep up with content development, content publishing. So there's some tools like that we've deployed. Midjourney, which again is another creative development tool. And Writer. Writer was the first AI tool that we deployed in our marketing organization. And I don't know how many of you are involved in product naming. Product naming is the bane of my existence. Especially when you're a global company and you have to worry about trademarking those names in different countries and translating those names. Does it translate? Or do you pull a Nova? Right? For those of you who remember that debacle. So that has been an arduous process. That took months and months and months for our legal department to go out and do knockout searches, right? And finding out, oh, it's the name that we all spent time in rooms on whiteboards saying, oh, isn't this an amazing name? And then we take it to legal. Sorry, someone knows that name in Zimbabwe, legal. Can't use it. Writer has been phenomenal for helping us accelerate that process. Do the work ahead of time so that we can ideate on names that we actually get through the process faster. So that's been a big help. And then just general copy development. It's an ideation Kickstarter. That's how we view kind of these tools: is ideation Kickstarter, right? Iteration Kickstarter, test and learn. And then at the end of the day, we have to own our stuff, right? We have to add that creative eye, that creative element, that editorial context to whatever we're producing. Because if we don't do that, we can't own it. And at the end of the day, you want it to be ownable. So that's kind of the process that we go through every day as we're deploying these tools.
Talk about that a little bit more. So recently, a relatively large publisher got flagged for making up authors as well as 100% of the AI-generated content. Turns out people weren't happy about that. Wonder why? Yeah, advertisers were like, wait a second, nothing about this is real. We have no idea. Like, let's check in stats on it. Talk about in your process, like when you're using these tools, like where do you grab onto the ownership? And or does it start with ownership? Is it end with? Talk about that.
Well, there always has to be human input on the front end, right? I mean, AI needs human input, direction, in order for it to start kind of doing what we want it to do. So there's human interaction on the very, very front end, obviously. And then through the ideation process, AI can help kind of get through the clutter, right? Provide different perspective, maybe something that the collective minds haven't thought of. And then once you kind of get through that ideation process, maybe you can use AI to help sort of go through the process of elimination, all right, going through okay, can this content be published? Is it relevant to our audience? Can we test this, et cetera, et cetera? And then you have to kind of finalize the cherry on top of the sundae with your own editorial prowess, your own creative eyes throughout your either internal creative group or your agency partners. And then you can bring AI back into test, when you finally deliver it to audiences, whether you want to do A/B testing or whether you want to make sure that it will land with the audience that you're trying to deliver that piece of content to. So it's kind of in and out of the process, but human interaction, human elements cannot be replaced. AI replaces tasks at the end of the day, right? It's not, I know there's lots of worry about replacing jobs, but it's really about replacing tasks so that people can be more creative, more productive, spend more time doing things that matter, and less time doing the mundane, is the way I look at it. Maybe I'm an optimist, drinking my own Kool-Aid here, but that's how I look at it.
If you're not, I welcome our AI overlords, just so that AI overlords listening. Talk about, I know there's a new product launch coming out this year that I was sort of aware, but I didn't realize it was coming this quickly. And I think the PC world is something that Qualcomm's getting into. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, what's exciting about, and PCs have been exciting for a really long time. And I was 5.5 years in Intel marketing for the PC business, so I speak from experience. But I think this 2024 is going to be a really interesting year. We talked about automotive being transformed over the last 5 years a minute ago. What I would say to you all here in the audience and just in general is that I think the PC is now poised to reach an inflection point of an innovation evolution. And that is primarily due to AI and the ability to use AI, right, to make the PC experience better, more useful for you. And so we've been working with Microsoft for quite some time as they've evolved Windows and introduced Copilot, and the Copilot key, which they just introduced this week. This whole advent of the AI PC is now kind of buzzworthy or out there. I think there's been panels here at the show already talking about the AI PC. We've had members of the ecosystem talking about the probabilities, the possibilities, the opportunities, and what's kind of coming later on. And they mentioned that it's coming in phases. And I think that the reason why I believe that is because what's happening now and what the capabilities that are going to be delivered in the next 6 months are a good start. But really, what people will see and experience in the true transformation of the PC experience won't start until about June of this year. And why I say that is because that's when PCs powered by Snapdragon X Elite come to market, where we've got the AI performance along with CPU and GPU and all the things you need out of your processor to power your PC to deliver amazing new experiences that you've never been able to do and use on your PC in the past. And that really comes this summer and going forward. We've been so proud of partnering with Microsoft and Samsung and Dell, Lenovo, and HP, and Asus, and Acer, and the entire PC ecosystem, and Best Buy, et cetera, to bring these new PCs to market. Really excited about it. They hit shelves in June this year, so that's great.
Can you talk about how many models were the Snapdragon got to be in?
We'll be in multiple SKUs from all those brands I just mentioned, including Microsoft brands.
Are you able to share anything with a group of marketers? What's next? How are you keeping it kind of quiet and just put a sticker on these pieces?
Yeah, I think we're we like surprise and delight, and I think our friends at Microsoft do as well. So we have a big event planned around the May timeframe to kind of bring some of these new things to the forefront. But I'll go back to my comments about anticipatory and suggestive and pervasive and personalized and secure. And some of these experiences are going to check a lot of those boxes and deliver kind of some wow moments for people, I think, that we've not yet seen as far as the PC experience goes.
That's massive. You talked a little bit about the group of attorneys and marketing and some others, so figuring out what you can be doing with AI internally. Do you also think about alongside that, are you part of the process of what should we build into products? We hear that Joe, AI is going to become our overlord. Do you have those discussions internally, what we should be doing and what we should not be doing? And can you you talk about how the safety aspect comes into play?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we have a lot of input into our AI principles that we have deployed at Qualcomm. We have also been working with other companies. We've also been working with governments and regulators around the world, watching closely what's going on in Europe with our own US government. I'm not a huge fan of tech regulation per se because it's always too slow and then it never ends up doing anything beneficial because you can't keep up, right? By the time you regulate something, it's already moved to something else. And AI is moving so fast, right? That it's really, really difficult to regulate. But there should be guiding principles. And technology is a technology until it's put to use. And obviously it can be put to use for good or it can be put to use for not so good. And I think one of the things that I've talked to people about is if we can talk about lessons learned for a second, if we can just look at social media and we can learn some lessons from what we maybe didn't do on the forefront of the social media explosion and technology evolution and say, maybe if we'd done this differently, we wouldn't have some of the negative effects and impacts that social media has proven to be part of or deliver, bullying, mental health issues, and all these other things. Maybe as we deploy AI, we can do it better, right? And so, so that's kind of how we approach it. Talking to a lot of colleagues and a lot of partners, I have a great opportunity as a CMO of a company where you don't buy our product directly, but you buy our product inside of other products. But I get to work with some amazing brands, from Louis Vuitton to BMW to Samsung to Cadillac to Microsoft. And so I get to talk to a lot of these CMOs and a lot of these folks. And so it's really a collective effort that we all have to look at this with, and an eye that we have to look at this with. And so I just think that if we follow some guiding principles and standards, and we look to all the different parts of the ecosystem to deploy in a way that is directed towards the positives that the technology can deliver for society, for enterprises, for consumers, then I think we'll be in a much better place even from the get-go than we were with social media.
So you're keeping me safe. I appreciate that. So you just mentioned a brand that I would not have associated with Qualcomm. Louis Vuitton. Like, is there something going on in my wife's bag that I don't know about? Like, what is that?
Maybe. It's telling your wife to buy another Louis Vuitton. Sorry. Actually, we power the Louis Vuitton smartwatch and the Louis Vuitton earbuds. So Snapdragon technologies in both those, and the smart speaker. So all three of their products. As Louis Vuitton, obviously an amazing luxury brand, and across all the range actually, from tag, etc. Our technology is inside of a lot of their products. And Louis Vuitton is not a tech brand; they're a luxury brand, an amazing luxury brand. So the co-marketing and collaboration that we worked on with them is really all about how do we give them tech credit, right? Because as they move into these product lines that are where people are like, oh, I love the fact that Louis Vuitton logo is on this smart speaker, but what the F does Louis Vuitton know about making speakers, right? So they still want the audio quality. They still want to know it's a good consumer electronics product, and that's what we bring to the table. So, working with LVMH and Louis Vuitton on several of their products and bringing that tech credit to the table is kind of how we attach ourselves to that brand, how we give them credit and make their brand experience and their product experience better and more credible, and how we get some brand advocacy and affinity because of that.
I think you just saved me from tearing my wife's bag apart, so thank you for clarifying on that.
Maybe in further generations.
Yeah. And then on that front, you're at CES, obviously. What are your main focuses? What's in the booth? What will we see?
Not getting sick. I think everyone's goal at CES, right? Do not get the CES plague. CES has become a lot about automotive in recent years, so we have a lot of focus on automotive here at the show. Our booth is actually in this location where most of the auto booths are. In our Snapdragon concept car, we're showcasing a lot of AI user experiences. So if you're cruising the show, you see our booth, check out the concept car, it's pretty cool. We've got amazing audio experiences powered by our partner Bose. in the car. We've got some suggestive and anticipatory AI demos that you can actually do and experience. So a lot of auto, a lot of AI, and then we're participating in the sort of AI PC narrative as we anticipate our devices that are coming to market in June. Cristiano Bohn, who's our amazing CEO, is doing a keynote to kick off CES tomorrow with Liz Clayman. He'll be talking, shockingly, more AI and about some other stuff. So it's I think 2 p.m. So if you have a chance to go over to the Venetian and check out Cristiano's Fireside chat with Liz Clayman, I think it'll be super interesting. And we're meeting with a lot of partners, a lot of customers, a lot of my agency partners. It's always good to see them here at the show. Strategizing. Our fiscal runs October 1st through September 30th, so we're now kind of kicking off into Q2. So a lot of work to do and a lot of conversations to be had.
So we've got about 5 minutes left. But totally throw something out that we did not discuss. 2024 is going to be allegedly year of cookie deprecation. Is that into your world at all yet?
I mean, I think we've been anticipating the day. And our focus has been in 2 areas. First-party data, and making sure we have the capabilities to build a database of first-party data for ourselves. And part of our remix of our MarTech stack and our digital customer journey has been with that first-party data kind of in mind. And actually using AI a lot to help us with that. Number 2 is making sure that our data is not garbage. I recently was at a Forbes event in Miami where a person from Google was on stage saying like 99% of enterprises have dirty data, right? And so creating this environment for clean data and relevant data is another thing that we focused on. So we, it didn't really catch us off guard, but we hadn't owned a lot of our data. It was lying with our agency partners. It was lying on a platform somewhere, and we either didn't have access to it, or it took a long time, or we didn't know what was in it, or all those types of things. So now it's caused us to focus on that. And then protecting that data and making sure that we're not using it nefariously is another focus area for us. So we're kind of ramping up to this cookies going away environment that we're about to face. And then we've paid attention to what's happening in Europe. Is it kind of led the charge right on this? And as a multinational corporation, we've had to comply. We've had to work within those regulations and those confines now for some time in markets like the UK and Germany and other places across Europe.
So you mentioned bringing data in-house to some extent and cleaning it up a bit. Are there any partners or products or anything that you can share that you guys are using to help with this? Or is it all hard?
No, I mean, we have to rely on our agencies. It's all PowerPoint. Everything in the world is PowerPoint. I wish. My job would be done. I could just, go back to Cabo and call it a day. Actually, working with a lot of our media agency partner, Mindshare, very closely with VML, the other parts of VML, Wonderman, the Wonderman team, who's been very involved in our digital strategy for a long time. And even with McCann, right, it was our great agency record, and all of our agency partners together collectively to move things from one platform to another, and using Deloitte and Adobe and our other consulting groups and partners to make sure that we set up a data architecture. Have you heard of DDOM before? Anyone in the audience? Am I getting too geeky on you? Dave, Carmen, who runs that part of my business for me, raise your hand. Data-driven operating model is what we are dragging our organization into, kicking and screaming. No more of, hey, let's just do crap for the hell of it. But we're really going to become more data-driven, and in order to become more data-driven, we need clean data. So the forcing function has been this data-driven operating model that we've deployed across, in combination and collaboration with our wonderful IT partners. I'm so fortunate to have an amazing CIO partner at Qualcomm, Cisco Sanchez, and it's been we're like lock arms and going to battles together, and which is I think unusual for a CMO and a CIO to be that broke out, but we are, and it's been super helpful.
Dogs and cats. We've got about 2 minutes left. Assume that we have any questions.
Anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
Can you give an example of the tech you'll see in the PC market this summer? Like, what would we experience? Is that transformative experience? Like, throw one out.
Microsoft won't say. No, just kidding. I think what you're going to see is, I'll give you an example. Imagine you're creating some sort of asset on your PC using some sort of program that makes presentations. Okay? And as you're typing away and/or figuring out formatting and things like that, your PC is following along with you, and then is suggesting you add an image to complement whatever you're writing, and it actually goes and finds it within your database, and pulls it up, puts it alongside, and says, hey, why don't you add this image here? It'll make your slide better, or it'll make it more informative, or it'll bring it to life. Versus you saying, oh, I remember I did this presentation 5 years ago, and there was this deck, and I had this image, and it was amazing. I could really go, where is that? It's in my files somewhere. I gotta go find it. What year was that? I can't remember. I'm digging. I spent an hour and a half trying to find that. Oh no, I'm just gonna go to the internet and try to find something. All that can go away in an instant. And within seconds, you can more seamlessly and more, we call it getting into your flow, right? You can flow better in your productivity mindset with some of these experiences and tools that are coming to market, starting this summer and moving beyond. So that's one example. It's a small example, but how many of us have faced that issue before, right? Where we're like, I'm trying to make this presentation, and I need this, that, or I need a logo, but I can't find it, or it's the wrong format, or I gotta go to the brand portal, whatever. All that stuff can be taken care of for you in the background, anticipatory, suggestive, pop it up, drag it in, drop it, done.
Awesome. Give me time. We got one more question and a microphone.
Person with microphone.
Hi. How much are you working with the creator community? So both from a content standpoint, but also new business, innovation, sort of really digging into that community.
The 3 areas right now, and to be honest with you, I think we could be doing more, and I'm excited about that. But we view developers as creators. And so the developer community for us is a very important community, both from a software and hardware perspective. And developers are creators. And so we have a really robust developer community that we nurture, we engage with. So that's one area. Second area is social media influencers and the like, analysts, media, etc. We have I would say a book of those folks that we work with on a consistent basis, both from a content publishing perspective, content amplification, reviews, unboxings, things like that. And then we have a community called Snapdragon Insiders. Our Snapdragon Insiders community has over 14 million people in it around the world, which is amazing and astounding to me that we have 14 million people interested in a product you can't buy, but they are. And these are all tech-forward, tech influencer types of consumers that really understand technology, care about it. They're the people that other people go to when they have this question of, hey, which product should I buy? What's the best of this? So they're kind of the little mini consumer reports of their social groups, or their families, or their ecosystems. And there's 14 million of them running around as Snapdragon Insiders that we've tapped into, turning them into a creative community. We have a concept called Shot on Snapdragon, where photos that are taken with a device that's got our camera technology in it are so superior, right, than others. And our community has taken Shot on Snapdragon and turned it into a photo ecosystem. They run their own contests every month. They take pictures from all over the world. We've got this amazing database now of photography that we can leverage and that people can leverage that's out there in the ethos that our insiders have taken using these amazing devices from our partners like Samsung and others. That's its own creative community in itself, and that lies with insiders. So that's one of the areas where it's worked organically. Super stoked about that, but we need to do more in other areas, and I think that's one of the areas for 2024 and beyond I'm excited about, evolving.
Great. Don, a lot of detail, a lot of insight. Very much appreciated. Great conversation. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Bye, bye. See you later.